Now, here's the truth. You're not broke, you're not underfunded, and you don't need a miracle investor to make your business happen, because the money you think you're missing, the capital you're waiting for, is already there. It's just leaking out of your bank account, drip by drip, every single month.
And here's the part no one tells you. If you redirected just a few of those leaks, you could build something that changes your whole life. Not in theory, not one day. I'm talking about using what you already have to launch a business, grow an income, and build an asset that might one day be worth millions.
So if you've ever said, I can't afford to start, you need to hear this, because by the end of this episode, we'll show you exactly how to find the money, how to use it, and how that one decision could be the moment you step off the treadmill and build your freedom instead.
Let's be honest, if you feel like you're always chasing money, you're not imagining it. Life's got more expensive, wages haven't kept up, and for most people, starting a business feels like something other people get to do. People with investors, savings, or luck on their side.
And that's exactly how the system wants you to think. Because if you believe you're underfunded, you'll stay in the game it's built for you. Work, pay bills, repeat, while the people who own things get wealthier every single day.
Meanwhile, you're cutting back on holidays, skipping meals out, maybe even putting off starting a family, but still watching money trickle away on small automatic spends you don't even think about.
Yes, and I think it's time for a brutal truth. Because it's not the big decisions that stop most people. It's the slow, silent drip of the small ones. A few pounds here, a subscription there, a habit that feels too small to matter. But together, they're the reason you keep saying, I can't afford it.
And that's why this matters, because once you see where the money's actually going and how much of a difference it can make, everything starts to look a bit different. You stop saying, I can't do it, and you realize the money's been right there in front of you the whole time.
And the only difference is whether it's lining someone else's pockets or starting something of your own.
All right, let's get practical then, because it's one thing to say money's leaking, but it's another to see it. And once you do, you'll never look at those small spends the same way again. So Mark, where does it usually go?
It's almost always the same culprits. That morning coffee, that's £3 a day. 5 days a week, that's about £60 a month. Lunches out a few times a week, that's roughly £96 a month. Then they're streaming. Netflix, Disney Plus, Spotify, usually around £40. The gym you don't go to, well, that could be £50. And then there's the delivery apps. Now that's the real heavyweight. Typically, that's £200 a month.
Right, Keith, so that's what, over 400 a month gone without thinking?
Yeah, but you're supposed to be the accountant. That's £446 to be precise.
Yeah, all right.
And that's another accounting trick. £5,352 a year, Michelle. It's not nothing. That's startup capital. It's sitting right there in your budget, disguised as your really needy routine.
And here's the bit that really lands for most people. None of that feels extravagant, does it? It's just normal life. A coffee, a lunch, a subscription. But you stack them up and they're the reason so many people keep saying, I'd start a business if only I had the money.
But you do have the money. You're just spending it on other people's businesses.
And the reality is, those companies love that you think of it as only a few quid, because it's not a few quid to them, it's billions. That £3 latte is paying somebody else's mortgage. That 200 on takeaways is fueling someone else's business growth strategy.
And here's the line that really stings. If you can fund Starbucks, you can fund yourself.
And here's where it gets eye-opening, because even if you did nothing else, no side hustle, no business, and simply invested that 446 every month, here's what it will become. In 10 years, £82,000. In 20 years, £263,000. And in 30 years, £665,000.
Yeah, and that £665,000 figure is from money you're probably wasting right now. Not a pay rise, not a second job, just redirecting what's already there.
Let that sink in, because that number alone, £665,000, is the difference between I can't afford it and I've had the capital all along.
Absolutely, no more excuses. And remember, that's the do nothing version. Just redirecting the leaks and letting compounding do its thing.
But if you use that same money to build something of your own, well, that's when the numbers explode, don't they? It's worth letting that sink in properly, because once you see that number, you can't unsee it. It forces you to question the story, the one that says, I don't have the capital. You do. You've had it all along.
But here's where the conversation shifts, because that, as powerful as it is still the passive version.
So what happens if you don't stay passive? What happens if you take that same 446 a month, £5,352 a year, and instead of investing it in someone else's business, you actually use it to build your own?
And here's how that plays out, Michelle. Over 3 years, you've put just over £15,000 into you, into stock, a website, tools, your first ads. That's your seed capital. Then with reinvestment and momentum, a well-run small business can realistically hit around £100,000 profit a year.
And a buyer won't just pay for a good year, they'll pay for the whole business and all its future potential, won't they?
Exactly. If you build a business and you build it well, you can sell it. Even on a conservative 3 to 5 times multiple, a company making £100,000 profit a year can sell from between £300,000 to £500,000. And if you keep going, well, after 10 years, that's £950,000. 20 years, you get into the millions, 3.5 million. 30 years, 10.9 million.
Good grief. 10.9 million. Same monthly money, 2 completely different outcomes.
Yeah, so what we're saying is, if you plug the leaks in your budget and start saving rather than spending, you can get a huge amount of cash over time. So just picture it, £665,000 quietly compounding in the background, or you can use it as startup capital and build a business that pays you every single year and becomes something you control and that could one day sell for millions.
All right, let's get practical again, because someone watching this is probably thinking, this all sounds brilliant, but how do I actually do it?
Well, it's simple. You do it in stages. Stage 1, just get something off the ground. Take that £5,000 a year and put it to work. Not on flashy logos though, or shiny offices, on the basics. A bit of stock, a simple website, the right tools, maybe a course to learn what you need. The goal isn't to make it perfect, it's to get it moving, make it messy, do something and then correct the mistakes.
So they're not trying to build a huge company on day one, is what you're saying.
Definitely not, Michelle.
They're testing the water, proving the idea.
Exactly. Then, once you've tested it, reinvest and build more momentum. Feed every pound of profit back into the business. Better tools, better marketing, more reach. That's when it stops being a side project and starts becoming a business.
And once they're there?
Well, that's stage 3. At scale and value. Grow it, step back from it, or sell it. Even a 100k profit business can sell for between 300 to 500,000 pounds. And here's a bonus. Business income is often taxed more favourably than wages. That's because you control how and when you take it out of the business.
Yeah, and that's the shift from trading time for money to building something that earns even when you're not.
Yeah, and all this starts with one tiny decision. Stop wasting money and use it to build something that works for you.
Well, let's step back because this is bigger than coffee money. Most of us were handed a script, get a job, work hard, save a bit, retire at 67 or 77 or 87 by the time we get there.
And that script isn't designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to keep you predictable. Wages taxed before you see them, savings eaten by inflation, pensions decades away. And whatever's left, the system's designed to make you spend it, and you're doing a really good job of actually delivering what the system wants you to do. It's time to stop.
So even if you do everything right, then you're still on a treadmill.
Or as I like to say it, a hamster wheel. You're just the system's pet. If you only ever trade time for money, the system wins. By the time you've paid the tax man, the mortgage, the bills, well, there's nothing left to build anything for you.
But once you own something, even a small business, you're flipping the rules. You control the money, you decide when to sell, you build the asset.
And when you own that asset, you're not stuck in their game anymore. You're writing your own rules.
And let's make this personal, because the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make won't feel like decisions, they'll be habits then.
Exactly. Really bad habits. And those habits are often the reason you haven't started. Trace them back and then explain to yourself why the money is never there.
So here's a question. What's one thing, just one, that you spend money on that doesn't really matter? The habit you could stop tomorrow and barely notice, but it would free up money to build something for yourself.
Yes, this isn't about guilt, by the way. It's about power. Because once you see that habit, you stop being controlled by it.
And once you've done with one thing, you'll realise you can do it with 2, then 3. Each one's a step towards building a life that's yours.
Yes, then that's because the small decisions you ignore are often the very things keeping you stuck. Change just one and everything starts to move.
So let's turn this into action. Pick one lead, just one, and plug it today.
Cancel the subscription, stop the takeaway, cut the spend, then set up a bank transfer for that amount, but this time into a business account with your name on it.
That's your future fund, not savings, seed money for your first stock, your website, or your first ad.
And once you've done it once, you'll do it again. That's how momentum builds. A year from now, that pot could be thousands. In our example, over 5,000 quid. In a few years, it could fund the business that changes everything.
And when you do this, you're not just saving cash, you're building 3 kinds of wealth. A compounding investment in the background, a business that pays you every year, and an asset you can sell for a life-changing sum.
And really importantly, Michelle, you're then stepping off the path the system laid out. Wages, tax, pensions, inflation, none of it defines your future anymore. The only person that decides that is you.
So here's the challenge. Choose that one thing that's leaking money every month. Plug it, redirect it, and start building something that's yours.
Because 10 years from now, you'll look back and realize that decision, the day you stopped funding everyone else's dreams, was the day you started building your own.
And if this hit home, stick with us, because next time we'll show you how to turn that fund into a business that doesn't just survive, it thrives.
Step by step.
From idea to income.